There we go. How you doing, mate?
Good brother, yourself?
Yeah, doing well, thanks.
Yeah, man. So Rick here from Everyday Metal. Absolute pleasure to have you to chat.
Oh, thanks very much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for getting up early enough in the morning to do so as well.
No, it's all good. I'm already up and about and in and out of meetings and stuff, so it's all good.
Yeah, man. On that hustle. So
Of course.
yeah, word has it that you've just flown over to the States to work on a new record. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that experience?
That is correct. Yeah, we had the very humbling experience of getting to work with Machine, the producer over outside of Austin, Texas. Which was a bit of a pinch me moment. This is a guy that's, worked on records that I've been listening to since I was a wee teenager learning about metal. So yeah, we got to go over, hang out with this basically like mad scientist of a genius producer, and go out in the middle of nowhere. We were about 40 minutes out of Austin on a ranch, and it's just this big barn that he set up in there. And we basically locked ourselves down there for 2.5, 3 weeks and knocked out this record that we've been working on here at home for about 3 years, honestly.
Yeah, so I imagine that experience would be one of those things that's like, well, you said it's like a bit of a pinch me moment. But since this guy's worked on so many big records, did you find that going into it, you guys were collectively kind of like, all right, this is like a really great opportunity for us to really learn and grow?
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
We're all guys that are used to having a lot of control over what we're doing. Like Miller, he owns and runs House Fox Studios on the Northern Beaches, which is a fantastic facility that he's put together there, and he's very used to being in the driver's seat. I
mm,
myself, I have my own small studio set up where I record drums out of that space near my home, and so I'm used to being in the driver's seat all the time. Nano's the general creative genius of most of the instrumentation behind Black Rheno. So he always has a lot of command in the studio of what's going on. And we all went, okay, we've done everything we can to make
yeah,
this album with the resources we have, the best album we can do. Let's now go and relinquish control and see what Machine has to say, what he has to offer, and what he has to bring to the table. Because there's no point in us going over there and then still holding on to control, because we want the essence of his, work. We want to embody that in what we're doing. So we all had to kind of put our hands up and go, okay, yep, what do you reckon? Fantastic. Let's do that, or let's try that. And yeah, everyone was on board with just going, yep, it's in your hands now, man. We've molded this to what we can do. Now help us finish that product off and make the sickest album we possibly can.
yeah, fuck yeah, man. It's cool to hear about you like having that sort of opportunity where, not to say you were egotistical or anything like that, but having to have that sort of like ego death moment where you're like, all right, here, like we brought it to you for a reason. Let's see
Yeah.
what can happen. How much did you find that there was a sort of negotiation in the production of creative ideas, and how much of it was sort of him being like, I can hear what you're doing, maybe try this instead?
Well, we pretty much spent the first 5 or 6 days there doing pre-pro, but also recording the drums as we went. So, because we
Maybe
have.
just for some of our listeners that may not understand what that is, can you run us through a little bit of what production actually is?
Oh, of course. So yeah, as I said, we spent like 3 odd years putting this album together, and we did, a lot of pre-production sessions, which is basically us trying to form the music, find the best ways to approach the ideas, and curate them into a song. So we actually wrote and recorded the album, I think, 3 times before going to Texas. So
Yeah,
we were
true.
really like knuckling down and going, okay, now that's finished recording. Sweet. Now let's break it down into its tiny components again, and then figure out if we can do it better, figure out if we can do it better. And when we think we've done it the best, then it was, yeah, that first week of here's the first song machine. What do you reckon? What do you hear with fresh ears? Because we've been so zoomed in on it. And he goes,
Mm.
hey, let's try this. And we go, okay, sweet. Yep, let's do it. There wasn't any question in the room. It was like, let's try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it does work, let's workshop that. And we just went track by track doing that, making decisions. He'd make suggestions, and then we'd build on those suggestions and, Reno-fy it essentially.
Yeah, sounds like
And
there
then,
was
yeah,
some
we
push and
didn't.
pull there.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, he was able to bring those ideas to the table that, he was able to think about it from his perspective, which is what we wanted after being so zoomed in on the album for so long. It's like when you look at something for too long, or you say a word too many times and the word loses
Yeah,
meaning. It's the
yeah.
same kind of effect when you're writing an album over that period of time and really trying to curate it down. You go like, I don't know what sounds good anymore. Can someone tell me if this is a good idea, please?
So 2 years ago, this sounded like banger. Does it still? But like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, now I've got to like double check what I'm playing because of the changes we made in Texas only, 6 months ago now. So the album sounded very, very different when we first started demoing it. When we first started demoing it, I wasn't really the drummer of Black Rheno. I was a drummer from a different band playing in Black Rheno. So as we've recorded the album, I've become more of the Reno drummer and been able to play more of what Reno demands, which means the
Yeah.
album has transformed as that's happened too. But it started
That
off as almost a grindcore album.
yeah, that sounds really exciting because that means that there's going to be an undeniable touch of your playing on the new record, which is something that I get really excited about personally as a music fan. Is when a new member joins a band, is hearing that they don't sound the same as the old member, because it's like otherwise, if you wanted to hear the old member, like they would still be there.
Yeah, no, for
Um,
sure. And there was a lot of I had a few of my own ego deaths as we went as well because I'm traditionally like, a grindcore death metal drummer and it's just balls to the wall all the time.
mm,
Where Reno have kind of wrangled me and tried to go, okay, do less here and then explode there, and do less here and then go ape over here. So it was a good kind of push and pull between me and the other guys too, because they're like, just rock and roll, man. Just give us some rock and roll, and then we promise you can go ballistic about 2/3 through the song. They're trying to hold me back, like just to like a
so
wound coil.
like Animal from the Muppets, like on your
Pretty much
leash.
that, yeah.
Like sick him, Kieran. Like, ah!
Yeah, if you
Uh,
spend enough time with me, it's a pretty apt comparison. Uh,
did you find that Machine had any kind of unorthodox or unique recording techniques that you were kind of a little bit like, oh, kind of add that to my little pocket of tools and tricks that I can use in the future?
it was definitely unorthodox in the way that, like, I've experienced a lot of recording sessions in a lot of studios, and you start seeing methodology that's like, this is how you do this, this is how you achieve that, this is how you record a drum, this is the exact method of doing it. And he doesn't really follow the rules. He just has an instinct for it. So, like, even miking stuff, he won't be like, that's where you put a mic on something. He'll be like, play it for a while and he'll have headphones on and he'll just be working the mic around, putting it under cymbals, over cymbals, here, there, just figuring it out. It's all in a big room as well. You're not in a booth, like a soundproof booth doing the drums. You're in a big live room and you're in the same room as the desk and everything. So everyone's in there with you. And you've got the
Yeah,
band members jamming along with you as well.
that's old school as
Um,
hell.
yeah, super old school, but it brings that live feel that we wanted. We didn't want to didn't want a record that sounded too overly, modern metal produced and polished, where it was down to a science. We still wanted it to feel like our live shows. We wanted it to
Mm.
sound exciting. We wanted that push pull. There's not just a this song is this BPM start to finish kind of thing. We've got the bit of ebb and flow going on, and he was 100% the right person for that job. And that's also why he wanted to work with us. He was like, yeah, you guys understand the way that I like to work. And we're like, yeah, I think this could work if you want to have us in Texas, bro.
Yeah, well, so that
So
kind of half
yeah.
answers what was going to be my next question, which was how did this fantastic opportunity even come about?
It was pretty interesting. Like we're all kind of audio nerds in this band, so we were just kind of shortlisting. Go, hey
Yeah,
guys,
I thought
what
that might be the case
producers?
based on the guitar tones and stuff when you guys play live.
Yeah, yeah. We just kind of sat down and went shortlist of who, if anyone in the world, if money was no object and distance was no problem or any of this, who in the world would you like to work with? And we had a short list, and then we spoke about, who could do what for us and who would work best with Reno. And after a lot of chats, we decided that Machine was 100% the person with the brain that suited Black Rheno's sound and the direction we were looking for. And then it was all up to kind of the metal gods after that, because these guys are big enough that they can just ignore an email or say sorry, too busy kind of thing. But he actually got back to us, and we set up a Zoom meeting, had a chat, and basically spoke about what we're talking about here with our styles and methodology of recording. And he was kind of just in. He was super keen to work with us, and he was able to work out ways for us to get to Texas that worked for all of us. And yeah, it got to a point where he was kind of making it happen, which we
Yeah,
were just surprised, thrilled, flattered by. And yeah, he's an absolute bro. Like we just hung out on his patio, having barbecues, making breakfast, beers after the sessions and stuff, going
hell
out for
yeah,
dinner. It was great.
yeah, awesome. No, it sounds like you've accidentally made a new friend.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Sweet. Well, moving on a little bit from the more tech production side of things and onto the art. What's some of the stuff that we can be expecting for this track listing in terms of inspiration and the stories that you'll be telling?
Well, the inspiration, we kind of were using a similar term the whole time as we were funneling down the songs to the exact sound we were making, and the term that kept coming up was heavy metal party. We
Yeah,
wanted something that sounded heavy, it sounded massive and crushing, but also something that makes you want to dance. And we want to bring that onto our live shows all the time. We're always bouncing around. We're all, you know, we can't be stopped when it comes to moving on stage. And we wanted to portray that on the album. We wanted to give people a reason to dance to heavy music, whether it be on their record player, in their car, or at a live show. So the themes definitely they change, and I think the lyrics have changed multiple times as we've changed over the past few years as well. But yeah, heavy themes, fun themes. We've got that kind of polarity going on, but the core of it all is how fun it is playing music like this, and we wanna go. Yep, we're having a great time. Let's hope you're having a great time as well.
you will enjoy yourself, or we will die trying.
Exactly.
Yeah, excellent.
Putting our
Um,
bodies on the line on those stages.
well, with that in mind, you very recently played a few shows. Played a show with Pantera, who some would argue are like the original party metal band. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, I guess hair metal is the original party metal, but like the original heavy party. Do you feel like the experience of playing with them, you may have like picked up a few things, just like, oh, okay, like here's where our game needs to be if we're really going to be world class, forcing people to party.
Yeah. Um, all right. That was like such a crazy experience. The amount of times I forgot we were even playing because I was so encapsulated with the fascination I was going to see Pantera.
It's like, hey
It
guys, I got free tickets to a
legitimately,
Pantera gig. All we have to do is
yeah,
play.
yeah. Like I had backstage passes to Pantera, but also I got to sweat a bit just before the show. Yeah, it was pretty special. Just it was almost like a full circle moment of me as a teenager discovering heavy metal and going, Pantera is amazing, but I'll never get to see them. And then getting the reassurance of playing the first Pantera show in Australia since '96. It kind of just went, okay, I think we're on the right path here, guys. Let's keep doing what we're doing and, make the most of a night like that and just enjoy ourselves. We didn't treat it really like any other show. I just tried a little bit harder to break my equipment while I played. Uh, and there was a few incidents, so I lost a couple cymbals off the stage, but it didn't slow us down. It just amped us up even more.
Yeah, that's it. So they were all for the show,
Exactly. Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, symbols are replaceable. Good times are not.
Exactly.
Uh, Sweet. All right. Well, moving on from the record. You guys have been touring Australia a lot, including I see that there's a new one on its way. The Who the fuck is Black Rheno tour?
That is right.
Uh,
That kicks off this week, in fact.
yeah,
I
hell
think.
yeah. So is there anything you're particularly excited about coming on this tour? So I see that it's pretty extensive compared to what the average Australian band does. Are you making have you guys made an intentional effort to just hit more cities to specifically to find new fans, or is it like yeah, how did this tour come about?
Essentially, it's just us. It's basically in the title. It's us reminding everyone who we are and what we're here to do. So we wanted to just hit the road. Like we just love playing shows. So we're like, how can we do more of that? So we were like, oh, we're gonna wait until we release the record and then do an album launch tour. Do we want to wait until then? We don't know when that'll be. Forget about it. Let's just hit the road. Remind everyone who we are and how much fun our shows are. And then we'll come back around with an even more extensive tour when the album does drop. So
Yeah,
yeah, I mean it's a relatively easy tour in terms of Australia. Like we're not going too mental. Just floating around the three primary capital cities.
yeah, nice East Coast.
But yeah, we're going to venues that we know and love. We're playing with bands that we love to play with and love to see. And yeah, it's just a refresher. It keeps us pounding and it keeps us fresh in everyone's minds. We're going to be bringing some fresh merch and a couple of sneaky tracks from the new album are going to be in that set as well. So it's a bit of a sneak peek of what's to come, and then we'll wait and see what the rest of the year brings us.
Excellent. Yeah. So for those listening, get onto Black Reno's socials, check out the dates, and grab tickets to your local show because they got some great stuff prepared. All right, now let's finish up here, Kieran. I'd love to hear your favorite early days touring story. So you've been around the block a few times. What's a fun story that you could share with the listeners?
Ooh, early days touring story. I mean, I've toured with a lot of bands now. We've got some
Give
we've got
give
some
us your
pretty
give us your favorite specifically Black Reno antic.
specifically Black Rheno antique. Well, here we go. The first tour I did with Black Rheno, in fact, I didn't really know what I was getting into. Like I knew the guys, we've been jamming for a little bit and we wanted to hit the road just like between COVIDs. We didn't want to waste any time. COVID was kind of over, but it really wasn't. So
Mm.
between lockdowns, we did a cheeky tour, not too dissimilar to this one coming up. And we went up to Queensland and we played with a band called FUC. You can pronounce that however you like. And they had a song called "The Elephant," I believe, and it involved a lot of elephant noises. And we got a real kick out of it. We thought it was hilarious. And I think this was something like it would have been within like the first four shows that I'd ever played with Reno, probably. And Ryan turns around and goes, "Anyway, this one's a cover from the first band. It's called The Elephant," and just looks at me. I go, "What?" And he goes, "Let's go!" And
Like
we
count
just
us in.
basically, off the bat, forced to figure out this cover song that we of a band we'd heard once earlier that night, and just completely caught me off guard. And then, had everyone jumping up and down, pretending to be elephants. And I think potentially on that album, on that tour as well, we did a cover of Captain Planet, maybe
Fuck
as
yeah.
well. It was just chaos, and I was like, you know what? I reckon these are my boys. I reckon I'm gonna stick around with these guys because they know how to have a good time.
You're like, this is my particular brand of silly
Yeah,
goofiness.
yeah, just
Yeah.
chaos without warning.
That whole thing that there's a star that they've just got a song called Elephant that just reminds me of one of my mates showed me a band recently called Frog Mallet, where it's like just grindcore where they just pretend to be frogs. So like all the vocals are just like frog
Oh
sounds.
yeah, you got the frog vocal.
Yeah, oh man. It's like yeah, similar thing. Just cracked me up when I heard about it.
Well, if you like that
Um,
band, listen to a band called Gutalux. They've got some
oh
great
yeah,
songs.
I'm familiar with Godalax. For toilet metal. Just
Yeah,
reminds me of
mate.
like
It's
age.
highbrow as it comes.
I feel like Trevor Stride predicted Godalax because like ages ago they released their Majesty DVD, and in like some of the special features, there's like a moment where Trevor's like, uh, yeah, in the future, heavy metal is just all going to be fart sounds, and I'm going to buy albums unironically and like them. And then like fast forward 10 years, and the Godalax is like blowing up.
Yep. Now
Knew it all
porno
along.
grind and slam death metal are both world renowned genres.
It's yeah, memes personified, man. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah. If anything's fun, it's worth doing on stage, right?
Hard agree. Hard agree, Kieran. Thank you so much for your time, man. That's all I've got prepped for you.
Hey, my
Um,
pleasure, mate. Thanks for having me again.
yeah, anytime. Yeah, make sure to hit us up next time you guys have got a release or a tour coming out because we'd love to chat to you again.
Definitely. Well, hopefully hear from us soon when we've got our new album in the release pipeline.
Excellent, man. Can't wait.